The time has come.
Wow, that was a hiss. I don't know if that picked up on audio, but Mimi just super hissed at Jaina. Jaina, let her borrow your spot. Be nice, Mimi. Wow, that is, huh. Anyway, the Shadow Blade is the weakness of Magnet Man here, so we're gonna go after him next, and he has probably one of the better weapons of the game, so I'm gonna go after him early anyway. And we think the Shadow Blade would be awesome just because it's a metal blade, but it's a shuriken. That's awesome. Problem is, take a look at this. It does not cover the whole screen. It goes back to you, which could hit enemies in the rebound, but I mean, that's a very specific situation. Oh, we got another fight with Breakman himself. I didn't really want to do 2 stages in a row that involved a fight with him, especially since his fight is very simple and kind of repetitive, but here we are. And that's that. Now, I kind of like Magnet Man's stage, actually. It involves a lot of magnetism pulling you sort of stuff. We saw at the beginning there, those enemies that went by and pulled you up, but in some cases that could be kind of helpful if you're trying to jump up to another area. And it's everyone's favorite thing, the invisible blocks, but you know what? As much as I don't like these things, they're not too bad in this stage. I would say this is actually one of my favorite Mega Man Classic stages because it does hidden blocks, but not terribly. Like most other stages of Mega Man do them. And jump. And jump. And what do you know, we made it through. Now we have one over an invisible... or, over a bottomless pit, but that's okay. Invisible pit. It's an invisible pit! This one's a very simple run. You just gotta keep going forward, taking your time as you go. Here's a segment where I'd like to use the Shadow Blade because this guy is constantly shooting out of his side, so it's difficult to approach him from the side. And we're almost at the end of the stage. We just have this guy right here. Now then. Let's go ahead and use this Shadow Blade against Metal Man himself. Magnet Man, excuse me. He's not doing his magnet pull attack, which I'm thankful for, but basically, eventually in this fight, which we'll probably see in his rematch, he will stop all his movement, he'll stay in one place, and he'll pull you towards him without being able to take damage himself. But we did get his weapon, which is the Magnet Missile, I believe is the name of it. Yep, we got the Magnet Missile. Now, the Magnet Missile is a unique weapon. It actually tracks down and does damage to the target, which the weakness of the Magnet Missile is Hardman here. Now, in my original playthrough of Mega Man 3, like I said, I couldn't beat any of the bosses, but in most cases I just couldn't get through the stage. This was a case where I was able to get through the stage, but I wasn't able to get past the boss. I really sucked at Mega Man, okay? The main gimmick of this stage is these... clangers? I don't even know what these are, but basically they just chase after you as soon as you step on them. Not an issue with the slide, thankfully. Here's a situation where we can use the Magnet Missile because he is at a very strange angle where we have to use the rush coil to get up there, but then he would throw his thing at us before we get the chance. So, useful use of the Magnet Missile there. Normally that would be a situation where I would want to use something like the Shadow Blade, but because he was so high up and it doesn't reach the whole screen, it was useless there. Also, since we have to wait for it to come back, we can only shoot one of these at a time. We can't absolutely obliterate the enemies with them like we could the Metal Blade. Now, I'm aware the Metal Blade is considered somewhat overpowered, so this is a decent underpowering of it, you know, it's unique, but I'm just not as much of a fan of it as all. You can totally be a fan of this thing if you like. That was weird. Did you see how Mega Man was shooting at him and it was going the other direction? What was wrong with my bullets there? I don't know. Up the ladder we go. Not much to this stage. I mean, it's got some simple enemies. We've seen this guy before in Shadow Man's stage. Actually, we saw him in Top Man's stage first off. This guy appears a lot, actually. He somewhat resembles the, I don't remember the name of the enemy, but it's the hard hat enemy from Gutsman stage that's been appearing ever since. E-Tanks are back. We can hold up to 9 of them, I believe, now, which is much needed improvement from Mega Man 2, where we were just getting E-Tanks we couldn't even carry anymore. The one big difference with the menu is that it's now on 2 different pages. Here we can see our lives and our energy tanks, as well as some other weapons we're going to be obtaining, and here we have the rush power-ups, as well as, like, right now we have the Shadow Blade there, and there's going to be some other stuff there eventually soon, too. Oh boy, and yet another encounter with Breakman. I really forgot he was at the stage, honestly. I did not mean to fight this guy 3 times in a row. Does Breakman take damage from anything else? Oh, I meant to unpause and just use that. Whoops. I didn't know start counted as using it as well. This is easily the hardest encounter with him just because we can't just chase him down with our gun. He's jumping all over the place that time. Okay, we do not have full ammo or magnet missile in dealing with Hardman, which is unfortunate because it does take quite the beating, but that's okay. Now, Hardman starts off firing these fists at us, and he stops into the ground, which stops time, for us anyway, but it doesn't seem to do anything. He doesn't really capitalize. I don't know, maybe if we stay on the ground then it hurts us? I'm not sure. I mean, I have no reason to stay on the ground and test it out. Except for the playthrough's sake, I suppose. Maybe I'll try it in his rematch. We got the hard knuckle, which is his weapon. And this is the weakness of, no, okay. This weapon is actually the weakness of, Top Man. Which is unfortunate because we already beat Top Man. So we actually aren't going to be using that at all. Instead, Shadow Man Shadowblade is also the weakness of Snake Man, coincidentally enough. So now we're going to be going after him.